Hi, everybody. This is Jerry Cirino of From the Median Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am your host, as always, and I'm always grateful for all of you listening. Today is yet again another episode in which it's just me. You only got me, and I want to use this time to go over, review some of our past and upcoming guests that I've had on. In case you're hearing this episode but not seeing some of the other ones, and you could always go back and listen, which is so fantastic with podcast apps that you have on through Apple, Spotify, or any of those, that you can go backwards and listen to old episodes. You can re-listen them. So I'd highly encourage you to do that if anything I talk about today sounds interesting to you. And I'm also going to go over, as always, some noteworthy news in the pro-life world, just to keep everybody abreast of what's going on, and also share with you how you can also be kept up to date in more detail than just this show on upcoming episodes. On ongoing pro-life issues and things going on in this world that impact all of us. So I want to start with, hopefully hoping that last week on the show, you were able to listen to some great guests, great interviews that I had. If you haven't, again, you can go back. A couple of the individuals that I had on, really unbelievable guests that I have, and just go through a few. We had the former Miss North Florida, who was basically canceled because she did not accept the whole notion of there's multiple genders, and she wanted, they wanted men to compete in Miss North Florida, right? Yes, I said that, and we all know that this craziness exists. And she stood up to them. Her name is Kaylee Bush. I interviewed her. It was a few months ago, and the episode is re-airing. It re-aired last week. I also have on Sean Cochran. He's a great guy. He's CEO, president of Men for Life, menforlife.org. Go there, check it out if you're a man. He's a great guy, really wonderful guy. Also interviewed Andrew Daub, who I talked about last week, from Team Iron Will. This is a man who, him and his wife started an organization to help support families of Down syndrome children. And that's in the news lately, as those influencers or YouTube influencers or whatever they're called chose and announced that they were going to abort their baby once they found out the baby had Down syndrome. And, this is perfect timing to hear such a wonderful story of great people who love their child with Down syndrome and want to help others as well. Is a number of other great individuals, great episodes that I have out there. Claire Colwell she was spared from abortion, and she talks about it, shares her story, really fantastic story. So please check those out. Again, you can go back on any podcast app and listen to those and check out the episodes. You can go to fromthemedian.org as well. If you are interested, go to the YouTube and search Cleveland Right to Life, because the YouTube page for Cleveland Right to Life, I post all of the video interviews. So if you're ever curious as to what the guests look like, you can go there as well and check it out and follow it. And you could watch the episodes on YouTube. You could also watch them on Rumble if you prefer that. And I also post a lot of short clips of my interviews on YouTube and on our other social media. So go to the various social media and find search for Cleveland Right to Life, and you'll find all that stuff. Please make sure you follow in order to be kept up to date. So this week I have a great guest who you will really love her passion. Her name is Jana Brown. She shares her story, and she has a story of, she was a widow at a younger age. She got involved in drugs and was an addict, and she ultimately really turned her life around. She shares her story and her passion. A really wonderful person that I got to know through the interview, and a young woman named Faith Ann Dalton. Faith is an author, and She authored a book that in which she talks about her story of choosing life in spite of some challenges. And many of the challenges that are pointed out by the pro-abortion side, right? They say, "Oh, what about poor women? What if you don't have money? What if you don't have a husband or a man who's going to stay around, or you don't have support, or you're young, that kind of thing." She hits all of those boxes, yet she chose life. And she shares her great story. Really, really fantastic story that you'll want to hear. Faith Ann Dalton is her name, and she is on this week. Some pro life news. And if you're interested in getting this information, and I'm going to share for those that are watching, I'm going to share my screen so that you can kind of check it out if you're able to watch it. If you're not able to watch on YouTube, that's fine. But you can go to clevelandrighttolife.org, and you can sign up for these updates. We get them weekly, and it just gives you some updated information in which it gives you sort of an overview, and you can dig in a little bit further, but it helps keep you up to date on pro-life issues and what's going on in the world. So what I like to do is, I'm not going to go into every single one or every detail, but I just want to share them with you so you can see what you can learn more about if you're interested. I'd highly suggest that you do. There's a great there's an article here from LifeSite News. All of these places, so LifeSite News and some others, that National Catholic Register, these are all places that we should all be subscribed to. We should all be following them on social media, and go to their websites, because these are solid organizations that are putting out truthful information, not just about abortion and other life issues, but about the things going on in our society and this world in general. You cannot trust the media, the mainstream media, right? And I'm talking all of them, because they're so biased and they're such liars, to be honest, right? They really are. They're complete liars. They put forward false information. They ignore things that are relevant. You can't trust them. You got to go to good sources, and I'll always share those good sources when I find them as well. And there are lots of them that are out there. So I'll share those. And if you have some suggestions too of great places where you get news, please share it with me, and I would love to, share it with the audience. So you could always reach me at Jerry at clevelandrighttolife.org. That's Jerry at clevelandrighttolife.org. So the first one you want to take a look at is, Ohio passes a bill requiring schools to teach students to have children after marriage. And again, I'm not going to click on the article itself. I'll let you read it. I want to give you just little teasers here so that you go and can check these out. Again, this article is from Life Site News. You can check it out there. But how cool is that? How great is that? And when you think about, the left will absolutely reject that. They will hate it. They will vote against it. They won't support it. They'll lie about it in every conceivable way. But whether it becomes a law or anything, there certainly is nothing bad about that. Teaching students to have children after marriage, which means don't have sex until you're married, right? That solves a lot of problems in this world if that doesn't happen. It does happen, and it is what it is. And we all know people, and we love them for it. We love them, regardless, of course, absolutely. But we certainly want to live in a culture that encourages chastity until marriage, and then children within marriage. That makes society better, for specifically for the children, right? The children live a much better life. Um, let's see here. A couple other things. Congress urged to defund Planned Parenthood. That's also on Life. It's on Life News. It's called defund Planned Parenthood, which I don't know why we don't. I know that there are always people within, even on our side of the political aisle, that maybe are afraid. Maybe the state that they're in is more the middle road, and they don't want to take a stance. But we absolutely need to defund Planned Parenthood. Not that that's the solution, right? We know that even outside of Planned Parenthood, the abortion pill is really becoming the main way in which women are aborting their children, right? And so, and the Planned Parenthood isn't needed for that. But sadly, it's still going to happen, right? But our money, our taxpayer dollars, should not go to Planned Parenthood. And look, to be consistent, our taxpayer money shouldn't go to the Boy Scouts, right? Shouldn't go to Catholic charities, right? I don't believe that our tax money should go to any of that stuff, especially an organization like Planned Parenthood. Absolutely not. 100%. That should be something that every, at least Republican politician, should be voting to stop. I know the Democrats won't, but some of them that are at least have a decent conscience need to get on the side of righteousness and end this nonsense of us spending millions of dollars for Planned Parenthood, who is literally a genocide organization. I mean, let's just be honest, right? Let's see here. Governor Dewine here in Ohio, and I know most of you listening are probably from Ohio. He wants to end the death penalty. Um, he says there's no moral justification for it. Boy, that's a tough one. Me personally, and Cleveland Right to Life, we are against the death penalty. We're against anyone destroying life at any point. I don't like it. Um, if someone had murdered one of my loved ones, I'd want to kill them myself, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not saying that I should or that I should be allowed to or that it would be okay if I did. I'm just saying I understand the feeling and I understand how the death penalty is often used to get criminals to admit guilt. I've watched episodes of various, true crime where, if the death penalty is taken off the table, the the accused will, admit what they did, or they will, tell authorities where they buried a body, that kind of thing, and that helps give closure to families. So I understand. Certainly, it is not the same thing as abortion. I don't care what anyone says. You're talking about people who are gone through a legal process, sometime usually for decades, and are guilty of horrific crimes. It certainly is nothing like abortion, which is the slaughter of innocent little babies for no reason other than that they're unwanted or inconvenient, right? They are not the same thing. But I think this is something worth watching and worth looking at. I did see, sticking with the wine, and I don't have all the details, so this is just something that I thought of off the top of my head right now. So I don't have every detail, so I won't speak too much about it. But I did see that Governor DeWine here in Ohio vetoed a voter ID law. Um, and that is concerning to me. That is very, very concerning to me. Again, I don't have all the details, and maybe I'll check it out or get more details next week. But for now, that is something concerning. And you might be saying, well, why is that a life issue? Look, we're here on From the Median. We're speaking truth, and there is nothing wrong or inappropriate about asking people to show their identification in order to vote, especially when uh, many of the things that we're voting on are extremely, extremely important. We want to make sure that the people who are voting are citizens, that they're voting once and they're voting in their district, and that they're alive, right? We want to make sure that they're alive. So, uh, it is important. It is a big issue, voter ID and having proper elections, because we here in Ohio just a few years ago had a vote on abortion in our Constitution. And so I'm not saying that it was rigged or anyone voted illegally. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying is that and that's how important having solid, appropriate elections are. So there you go. That's something to take a look at. Okay. Let's see. Survived abortion. Oh, Here's a story, another story from Life News. A 5-month-old baby survived abortion and then had her organs harvested. This is not anything new. There have been lots and lots of stories out there about this situation. We know that undercover video. We saw it. It's out there. You can go to YouTube and look it up and watch it. Undercover video of people discussing and negotiating selling of baby body parts, right? Baby organs and all sorts of things. It's sick. It really truly is sick to even hear it, but it happened. It's there. The names of the individuals are there. These people should be in prison for the rest of their lives, but yet it's looked at as no big deal. It was ignored by the mainstream media and many politicians as well. This is sick, sick, sick stuff in which babies are being having their organs harvested for money, right? So abortion is desired for that reason. That's one of many reasons, certainly, um, for money. And we also know that organs and tissues and various things are best if they are taken from a baby that is alive still. That's what we are told. And so, what then consequently is happening is these organs and the like are being harvested on babies, living babies. How sick is that? How painful, by the way, that has to be that someone's organ is being taken from them as they're still alive. But sad to say, that is the pro-abortion side in this world, is they don't seem to care. They don't seem to care. But this is an interesting story. Again, go to Life News, check them out as well. Um, I saw this one. I again, there's a lot here. If you could please go to clevelandrighttolife.org and you can sign up for all these updates and the like. I'm not gonna go through all of them. There's a lot of really good ones here. I go through the ones that kind of catch my eye, so to speak. But you could choose what you want. But there's this one article by Life Site News, homosexual men convicted of abuse and murder an adopted toddler's death. And I've seen a few of these out there. Um, you don't have them right in front of me, but there's a number of these cases where people are, gay couples are adopting children, which I am absolutely against, period. But they're adopting children, and in a lot of cases, they're abusing them, they're using them um, in sex trafficking and the like. Uh, I'm sorry, we cannot allow this in our society. You want to be homosexual, do what you want as a consenting adult with another consenting adult. I hope you don't, but you can do what you want. Don't bring in innocent children and think you can adopt them. Obviously, there are plenty, I'm sure, of gay couples who have children who don't abuse them. I'm not suggesting that they all do or anything like that. I am saying, though, that this is homosexuality is disordered. Okay. That's a fact. It may not be accepted by a lot of people, but it is a fact. It's not to say that we hate homosexuals. Of course not. Absolutely not. But we have to call it for what it is. We have to see it for what it is, and we have to demand that they not adopt, regardless of how they're treated. I'm sure many children are treated with love and kindness by their adopted gay parents. I'm not suggesting otherwise, but we have seen a lot of problems here, and we also know that children are not meant to have two moms or two dads. Okay, a mom and a dad, and that's ideal, that's best, that's truth. Okay, so as we come to an end here, just want to kind of go over a few things and remind you of Treasures for Life. That's the thrift store that is sponsored by Cleveland Right to Life, where you can get all sorts of stuff. I've been there, and it's really great. They have a lot of things that you can. First of all, it supports Cleveland Right to Life, right? That's always great thing. It's on 4427 State Road, so it's sort of like on the border, sort of Cleveland and Parma, I believe. Um, Check it out if you're looking for things that look. You're not looking to spend tons of money on things. There's a lot that's there. It's not just clothes. It's all sorts of things. It's a really nice place. It supports Cleveland Right to Life. Treasures for Life, it's called. Again, 4427 State Road. I would suggest checking it out if you're ever in need of things um, that you don't want to go out and spend tons of money on, and it's stuff you're looking for. Treasures for Life, they're great. I want to point out a couple other things. I had a great guest on, Bridget O'Callahan. I want to point this out if it's okay, and I'm not asking her to do this. I'm just doing this on my own. Um, but Bridget's a great person. She's the head of Womankind Cleveland, and they do great work in helping women, helping families who are in crisis pregnancies, have a lot of needs, financial needs, food, need help with food, diapers, things like that. And I hear it from the media, and we're looking for advertisers, right? We want to advertise, ask local businesses to advertise on the show, help support Cleveland Right to Life. And she's doing great work, but she's like, hey, I don't have the budget right now. Well, that's fine. We don't care about that necessarily, right? We want everyone go to Womankind Cleveland. Check them out, support them however you can. They are doing unbelievable things for the people in this area. I had Bridget on the show so you could hear all about what she does and all that she's doing, and some great examples of how she's helping. It's unbelievable. If you want to help support financial, if you can give an hour a week of your time to help, please please do. Please be inclined to do that. It's Womankind Cleveland, it's called. And again, Bridget O'Callahan is she runs it, and she was on the show. So you can look for her episode on any of the podcast apps, and check her out and learn more about it. But please go to Womankind Cleveland. You could search them online and find them, and donate $10 if that's all you can do, or your time, whatever you can. But if anyone else, any businesses, or of any businesses that think they want to advertise, and they want to advertise on a good show, a good Christian pro-life show, and you have they have a good Christian pro-life business, uh, love to have them. Love to have them advertise on the show. It will help support Cleveland Right to Life. Have Please reach out to us at Cleveland Right to Life, from themedian.org, or you can email me directly, and I'll get you to the right people at Jerry at clevelandrighttolife.org. That's Jerry at clevelandrighttolife.org. So yeah, I really appreciate that if that's of interest to you. Listen, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate all of you being here. I'm hoping that these guest less episodes, in which I just kind of go over some recent news and past and upcoming guests on the show, is helpful to you or of interest to you. Please let me know. I'd love to hear. I want to make this show. This show is about you, for you, to help you in the pro-life movement on all the issues that are important to us. I would So if you have any thoughts or opinions or feelings, let me know. I'd love to hear you. Jerry at clevelandrighttolife.org. So I want to thank you all. Hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. And thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.